Hello and welcome to Archvelder's Hacks with Archvelder and his amazing hacks. Now this video is all about how to exploit a glitch in the Draenor Herb Garden Garrison. And the basics of it are quite simple. Go to your Garrison Herb Garden and loot, but do not take the herbs from each flower. And just keep looting and cancelling the loot box. And eventually, after you've done this enough times, a disturbed podling will spawn, which you then kill. Now this is only supposed to happen when you actually take the herbs. So you kill the podling and loot it. And when you loot it, there should be 16 or 17 of whichever herb represented the flower you've been looting and cancelling. Then go back to looting and cancelling the flowers until you get another podling. And you can do this infinitely, it's a major glitch. There's a post on the official forums which is claiming this method is being used to make 100k gold per day. Although that might well be possible, and it very much depends on what the definition of a day is, I think it is quite optimistic for reasons I'll go into. Now, you won't be able to do this efficiently with your main character, and I'll show you why. If you look at what my mage is doing here, you'll see that he takes him a full 3 seconds to loot each flower, whereas the Tauren was doing it in half a second. That was the Tauren I just showed you. So I'm going to show you how to set up a character to loot in half a second. First, create a class trial character. Now you'll need to create a Tauren because they have a natural boost to herb gathering speed called cultivation. Having created the character, then port to Orgrimmar and then travel to the herbalism trainer. Now if you've never visited the herbalism trainer, it's in a really weird location, and despite what the guards may indicate on the map, it isn't actually at ground level and can't be easily accessed that way. It's about 10 foot above the ground. So once there, learn herbalism from the trainer and then port directly to your garrison. And having arrived in your garrison, you now want to fly to the herb garden. And you should now be able to loot a herb in 0.5 seconds. Now the value of each of these herbs varies quite a bit depending on the server. Anywhere from around half a gold piece to 2 gold pieces. Now, for those of you with an aversion to trying to sell things on the auction house, I should point out that most of these herbs sell pretty quickly, and they have a price floor in that they can be turned into items with real vendor value without too much difficulty. Indeed, I never actually sell any of my herbs because I know various ways to make very significant profits from them, but I'll be covering that in future videos. As I mentioned, this exploit has attracted a lot of attention and is being heavily farmed professionally. As to how profitable it is, you can certainly make 10k an hour with it relatively easily. However, it isn't the most profitable gold exploit out there. However, I can see why people are getting very excited about it, because as a grind play or as a bot farm, it is very simple to execute and an order of magnitude more profitable than most things that are comparatively straightforward. If you want to push it much beyond 10k, you're going to need to optimize things. Now, the approach I showed you wasn't quite optimal because our class trial Tauren only had base level gear. If you're observant, you'll notice that my mage killed the podling much faster than my class trial Tauren did. Now, if you have a max level Tauren herbalist, you'll be able to get the best of all possible worlds here, as you can kill the podlings very fast and loot the flowers super fast, but most people won't have a Tauren herbalist at max level handy. However, if you have a non-Tauren herbalist, then you can obtain an item which will give you the speed boost that the Tauren racial offers. If you travel down to Nagrand and then right down by the Zangar shoreline into this cave, there's a flower which, when you click on it, will produce the mob Gorpetal. And then when you kill Gorpetal, he'll drop a pair of gloves which increases herb gathering speed, which is exactly equivalent to the Tauren racial. Now, people usually ask me with this type of video, is this going to get fixed? And it might, but it has been going on for a few months, and even complaints on the official forums don't seem to have triggered any action by Blizzard, but it is impossible to say. So there's the hack. To avoid missing out on stuff like this in future, why not hit that subscribe button? And thank you for watching. This has been Archfelder.